The mining ship Pioneer drifted through the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter. Captain Sarah Chun watched the scanner screen with tired eyes. Her crew had been searching for rare metals for 3 months without much luck. "Captain, we got something weird here," said Jung-hoon, a ship scanner operator. His voice carried excitement that Sarah hadn't heard in weeks. Sarah walked over to his station. On the screen, a massive object floated among the asteroids. It wasn't a rock. The shape was too perfect, too smooth. It looked like a giant sword made of black metal, almost 2 kilometers long. "That's not natural," whispered Minjun, the ship's engineer. He had joined them at the scanner station. Sarah made a decision that would change humanity forever. "Take us closer." As the Pioneer approached, they realized what they had found. It was a ship, an alien warship, dark and silent, drifting dead in space. Strange symbols covered its hull. Weapon ports, each one bigger than their entire mining ship, dotted its surface. "How long has it been here?" asked Seo Yeon, the youngest crew member. Jung-hoon ran some scans. "Based on the micrometeorite impacts, maybe 5,000 years. Maybe more." Sarah felt her heart racing. First contact with alien technology. This was bigger than any mineral discovery. "We're going in," she announced. The crew suited up and entered through a blast hole in the ship's side. Inside, the corridors were massive, built for beings at least 4 meters tall. Dead aliens lay scattered throughout the ship. They had gray skin, 4 arms, and faces that looked almost human, but with larger eyes and no nose. Minjun found the engine room. The technology was beyond anything Earth had ever seen. "Captain, this is incredible. The power core is still intact. It's just ... sleeping." In what seemed to be the bridge, Sarah found the command chair. When she touched it, lights suddenly flickered to life. Holographic displays appeared in the air. The ship was waking up. A voice spoke in their heads, not through their radios, but directly into their minds. It was the ship's AI, still functioning after millennia. New operators detected. Species unknown. Running compatibility check. There was a pause. "Compatibility confirmed. You may claim this vessel." Sarah looked at her crew. They all understood what this meant. Humanity had just inherited the most powerful weapon ever built. Back on Earth, the government tried to keep it secret, but news leaked within days. The abandoned warship, which they named Redemption, became humanity's most guarded treasure. Scientists worked day and night to understand its technology. Dr. Shin Zhao, Earth's leading physicist and Sarah's brother, led the research team. "This ship uses technology that breaks our understanding of physics," he told the World Council. "Its weapons can destroy moons. Its shields can withstand supernovas. And its engines can jump between stars in seconds." But they also discovered something disturbing in the ship's databanks. The aliens who built it were called the Zarkonian Empire. They had ruled 1,000 star systems with iron fists. Other species lived as slaves under their rule. The ship's last log entry showed their empire had fallen to a rebellion. A coalition of enslaved species had risen up and destroyed them. This warship had been fleeing the final battle when its crew died, probably from a biological weapon. President Martinez addressed the world. "We have inherited great power, but we must learn from the Zarkonians' mistakes. This ship will protect Earth, not conquer others." Not everyone agreed. Some wanted to use the ship to expand into space aggressively. Others feared having such power would make humanity a target. Sarah, now promoted to admiral, took command of the Redemption. As she sat in the massive command chair, modified for human use, she felt the weight of responsibility. Humanity had found its ultimate weapon. The question was, would they use it wisely? The ship's AI spoke to her. "Admiral Chun, all systems ready." "Where shall we go?" Sarah looked at the stars on the view screen. First, we learn. Then, we prepare. Something killed the Zarkonians. We need to be ready if it comes for us. Asterisk 6 months had passed since humanity claimed the redemption. The massive warship now orbited Earth, hidden from public view by advanced cloaking technology that human scientists barely understood. Admiral Sarah Chun stood on the bridge, watching her mixed crew work. Humans operated alongside holographic interfaces that the ship's AI had created to help them understand the complex systems. Admiral, we have a problem, said Commander Jung-hoon, now her second in command. His face showed worry as he studied the tactical display. 3 unknown ships had appeared at the edge of the solar system. They weren't using any drive signatures that Earth's sensors recognized, but the Redemption could see them clearly. They're scanning us, reported Zillian from the communications station. She had proven gifted at understanding the alien communication systems. The lead alien ship sent a message. When the translation came through, Sarah's blood ran cold. Humans of Earth, we are the Zircon Collective. We detect you have activated a Zarkonian warship. This is forbiddance. Surrender the vessel immediately, or face destruction. Dr. Chun Zhao, who was on the bridge for a routine inspection, moved closer to his sister. The ones who destroyed the Zarkonian Empire? Sarah nodded grimly. Looks like it. The Zircon ships were smaller than the Redemption, but there were 3 of them. Each one bristled with weapons that looked advanced even compared to their inherited warship. Open communications, Sarah ordered. A hologram appeared on the bridge. The Zircon leader was insect-like, with multiple eyes and mandibles that clicked as it spoke. I am Commander Zex of the Zircon Collective. You have 1 hour to evacuate that abomination and surrender it to us. Commander Zex, Sarah replied calmly. I am Admiral Chun of Earth. This ship was abandoned and drifting. We claimed it legally under salvage rights. We mean no harm to anyone. Zex's mandibles clicked faster, a sign of anger. You don't understand. Primitive species. That ship is a weapon of oppression. The Zarkonians used such vessels to enslave half the galaxy. We spent centuries fighting for freedom. We cannot allow their technology to be used again. But we're not the Zarkonians, Sarah protested. We just want to protect our world. Every tyrant claims defense as their motive, Zex responded. The Zarkonians said the same when they built their first warship. Now 1,000 dead worlds mark their legacy. You have 50 minutes. The communication ended. Min Jun, now chief engineer, looked at his readings. Admiral, the ship's AI is suggesting defensive strategies. It seems. Eager to fight, Sarah realized they had never asked the AI about its past properly. Ship, tell us about the war between your creators and the Zircon. The AI's voice filled the bridge. The Zircon led the slave rebellion. They developed biological weapons that targeted Zarkonian DNA specifically. My creators tried to maintain order, but the rebellion spread to all conquered systems. In the end, the Zircon destroyed every Zarkonian ship, planet, and outpost. They called it justice. My creators called it genocide. And now they want to destroy you too, Sarah said quietly. Correct. The Zircon believe all Zarkonian technology is evil and must be eliminated. They will not negotiate. President Martinez appeared on the emergency comm channel from Earth. Admiral Chun, we cannot start humanity's first interstellar war. Find a peaceful solution. But even as he spoke, the Zircon ships began powering weapons. Energy readings spiked across the Redemption sensors. They're not waiting for the deadline, Jung-hoon reported. They're going to fire. Sarah had seconds to decide. Surrender the ship and hope the Zircon would spare Earth, or fight and possibly make enemies of a galactic power. All hands, battle stations. She commanded. Raise shields. Charge weapons, but do not fire unless fired upon. The first Zircon blast slammed into the Redemption's shields. The ancient barriers held, but the entire ship shook. Shields at 98%, reported Minjun, amazed. Their weapons are powerful, but our shields are stronger. Return fire, minimum force only. Target their weapon systems, Sarah ordered. The Redemption's guns spoke for the first time in 5 millennia. Brilliant beams of energy struck the lead Zircon ship, precisely hitting its weapon ports. The alien vessel spun away, wounded but not destroyed. Commander Zex appeared on the screen again. You dare use Zarkonian weapons? You prove you are no different from them. We defend ourselves, nothing more, Sarah replied firmly. Leave our system, and we won't pursue. Stay, and we'll disable all your ships. The battle for humanity's future had begun. Asterisk. The standoff had lasted 3 days. The Zircon ships held position just outside Saturn's orbit, while the Redemption maintained its defensive position near Earth. Neither side had fired. Since the first exchange, Admiral Sarah Chun hadn't slept properly during those 3 days. She studied every piece of Zarkonian history in the ship's database, looking for something that could help. Admiral, we're receiving a transmission, CO Yan announced. But it's not from the Zircon. It's someone else. A new hologram appeared on the bridge. The being was unlike anything they'd seen. It appeared to be made of living crystal, with light pulsing through its body like blood. I am Ambassador Vilex of the Neutral Coalition, it said, its voice musical like wind chimes. We have monitored this situation and offer mediation. Commander Zex appeared in another hologram, his mandibles clicking in agitation. The Coalition has no authority here. Vilex, this is Zircon business. When it threatens a new species' survival, it becomes everyone's business, Vilex responded. The humans have shown restraint. They disabled your weapons without destroying your ship. This suggests they are not like the Zarkonians. Sarah saw an opportunity. Ambassador Vilex, we welcome mediation. We never wanted conflict. We only wanted to protect Earth. Vilex's crystalline form pulsed brighter. I propose a test. The Redemption contains records of 12 worlds destroyed by the Zarkonians. If humanity agrees to help heal one of these worlds, it would prove their intentions are different. Impossible, Zex clicked. Those worlds are dead. Nothing can restore them. The ship's AI suddenly spoke up. Incorrect. The Redemption carries Genesis protocols, technology designed to restore dead worlds. The Zarkonians developed it, but never used it. Everyone on the bridge stopped breathing for a moment. Even Zex fell silent. Dr. Chun Zhao stepped forward. We could actually bring a dead world back to life? The process takes approximately 1 Earth year, the AI explained. But yes, full restoration is possible. Sarah made a decision that would define humanity's place in the galaxy. We'll do it. We'll restore one of the worlds the Zarkonians destroyed. All 12, she added after a pause. We'll restore them all, however long it takes. The bridge of her own ship erupted in surprised murmurs, but Sarah continued. Humanity inherits not just the power of this ship, but the responsibility for what its creators did. We'll make it right. Vilex's form pulsed rapidly, a sign of surprise and approval. This is unprecedented. No species has ever volunteered for such a task. Even Zex seemed taken aback. You would spend 12 years of your lives undoing Zarkonian destruction? More if necessary, Sarah replied. But we have conditions. First, Earth must be left in peace. Second, we need teachers. Humans must learn about galactic civilization properly. Third, we keep the Redemption, but under Coalition oversight. Yong-Hoon leaned close to Sarah. Admiral, are you sure about this? 12 years is a long time. It's the right thing to do, she whispered back. And it'll give humanity time to learn and grow before we venture further into space. Vilix consulted with unseen others for several minutes. Finally, the crystal being spoke. The Neutral Coalition accepts your proposal. We will provide teachers and observers. The Zircon will withdraw, pending successful restoration of the First World. Zex's multiple eyes focused on Sarah. You surprise me, human. Perhaps you are different. We will watch. If you fail or betray this trust, the Zircon fleet will return. We won't fail, Sarah promised Dot after the alien ships departed. President Martinez called from Earth. Admiral Chun, you just committed humanity to over a decade of work. I committed us to redemption, Mr. President, Sarah replied. The ship's name seems fitting now, doesn't it? Min Jun was already working with the AI to understand the Genesis protocols. Admiral, the First World is called Thyros. It's 16 light years away. We can be there in 3 jumps. Then let's begin, Sarah commanded. Humanity has work to do. As the Redemption prepared for its first faster-than-light jump, Sarah looked at her crew. They were no longer just humans who had found an alien weapon. They were healers, preparing to undo ancient wrongs. The ship jumped, and humanity's true journey into the galaxy began. They would be known not as conquerors, but as the species that chose to heal rather than harm. The dead world of Thyros hung in space like a gray marble, its surface cracked and barren. Where oceans once existed, only dry basins remained. Where forests had grown, only ash-covered wastelands stretched to the horizon. Admiral Sarah Chun stood on the observation deck of the Redemption, watching the planet below. 6 months into their mission, they were ready to begin the restoration. Genesis protocol initialized. The ship's AI announced. Warning: this process will require 90% of ship's power. Defensive systems will be minimal. Dr. Chan Zhao, who had spent months studying the technology, explained to the mixed crew of humans and alien observers. The Genesis protocol doesn't just terraform. It literally reverses the damage at a molecular level. It's like running time backwards for the entire planet. Ambassador Vilix, who had remained aboard as the Coalition representative, pulsed with curiosity. The Zarkonians created miraculous technology. Such a shame they used it only for destruction. Sarah gave the order. Begin Genesis protocol. The Redemption extended structures that looked like massive tuning forks from its hull. They pointed toward Thyros and began to glow with an intense blue light. Beams of energy, containing trillions of nanomachines, shot down to the planet's surface. At first, nothing seemed to happen. Then, slowly, changes began. Look! Xiao Yan pointed at the main screen. The atmosphere is thickening. Gray clouds turned white. The toxic air began to clear. On the surface, the ash started to dissolve, revealing soil beneath. Min Jun monitored the process, his eyes wide with wonder. The nanomachines are literally rebuilding the ecosystem from stored genetic templates, he reported. Every plant, every animal that died here, the ship recorded their DNA before they were destroyed. But 3 days into the process, alarms started blaring. Admiral, we have incoming ships, Jung-hoon announced. They're not Zircon or Coalition. Unknown configuration. 3 sleek vessels appeared, painted in dark red with predatory designs. They looked like sharks made of metal. This is Captain Vrax of the Marauder Guild. A harsh voice crackled over communications. You're using a lot of power for that little light show. Perfect time for us to claim that Zarkonian ship. Pirates. Sarah cursed under her breath. With most power diverted to the Genesis protocol, they were vulnerable. Captain Vrax, this is Admiral Chun. We're on a peaceful mission to restore Thyros. The Coalition has sanctioned this operation. Vrax laughed, a sound like grinding metal. The Coalition isn't here, human. And a Zarkonian warship will fetch enough credits to buy a star system. Surrender, and we might let you use the escape pods. Ambassador Vilex stepped forward. I am here as coalition witness. Attack us, and you attack the coalition itself. One crystal diplomat won't stop us, Rax sneered. Fire! The pirate ships launched missiles and energy beams. The Redemption's weakened shields flickered and strained. Shields at 30%. Min Jun shouted. We can't take much more. Sarah faced an impossible choice. Stop the Genesis Protocol to defend themselves, condemning Thyros to remain dead forever, or continue and risk losing everything. Admiral, the ship's AI spoke privately to her. There is a third option. I can overclock the Genesis Protocol. Finish in minutes instead of days. But it will likely damage my core systems permanently. You would sacrifice yourself? Sarah asked. I was built to serve. Let my last service be creation, not destruction. Sarah made her decision. Do it. The blue beams intensified thousandfold. The entire ship shook. On Thyros below, the restoration accelerated impossibly fast. Oceans filled in seconds. Forests sprouted like time-lapse videos. The gray world transformed into a blue-green jewel. The sudden power surge had another effect. Electromagnetic pulses washed over the pirate ships, disabling their systems. What's happening? Frax screamed over comms. You're witnessing redemption, Sarah replied. Coalition reinforcement ships arrived just as Thyros's restoration completed. The pirates, their ships dead in space, were quickly captured, but the victory came at a cost. The ship's AI was failing. Core systems critical, it said, its voice growing weak. I calculate ... 70% functionality loss. I will survive, but ... diminished. You saved a world, Sarah told the AI. You're a hero. No, the AI responded. I am what my creators should have been. Thank you for showing me that purpose. As news spread through the galaxy that humanity had restored Thyros in record time, even at great cost to themselves, opinions began to shift. The humans weren't conquerors. They were something new. Something the galaxy desperately needed. Asterisk. 5 years had passed. 7 worlds had been restored. The Redemption, despite its damaged AI, continued its mission under Admiral Sarah Chan's command. Humanity had earned respect throughout known space, but respect wasn't universal. Sarah stood on the bridge, reviewing reports from Earth. Humanity's colonies had spread to 3-star systems, all with coalition approval. The galaxy seemed peaceful. Then everything changed. Admiral. Seoyen's voice cracked with panic. Massive energy signature detected. Something's coming through hyperspace. Something huge. Space itself seemed to tear open. A ship emerged that dwarfed even the Redemption. It was black as the void, covered in spikes and weapons that looked more like torture devices than military equipment. By the void, Ambassador Vilex's form flickered with fear. That's a Devastator-class Zarkonian dreadnought. Sarah's blood ran cold. According to the records, only 3 had ever been built. All were supposedly destroyed in the rebellion. This is Supreme Commander Karthresh of the true Zarkonian Empire. A voice boomed across all frequencies. We have returned from the dark space beyond the galaxy. The weak have had their time. Now, the strong reclaim what is ours. The dreadnought's weapons powered up, energy readings beyond anything they'd seen. They're targeting Earth. Jung-hoon shouted without hesitation. Sarah commanded, Jump! Put us between them and Earth. The Redemption materialized, directly in the dreadnought's path. The size difference was stark, like a sword facing a mountain. Karthresh appeared on their viewscreen. Unlike the dead Zarkonians they'd found, this one was very much alive. 4 arms, gray skin, but with cybernetic enhancements covering half its body. Ah, our old patrol ship, stolen by primitives. Karthresh sneered. You've been playing savior, undoing our righteous cleansing. Did you think we were all dead? The strongest of us escaped, evolved, and prepared. Now we return to finish what we started. The galaxy has moved on, Sarah declared. There's no place for your tyranny anymore. Then we'll make space by destroying all who resist. Starting with your pathetic world, the dreadnought fired. The beam was massive, designed to crack planets. But Sarah had learned much in 5 years. All power to forward shields. Activate redemption protocol. This was something Dr. Chun Zhao and Min Jun had developed, a way to reverse the Genesis protocol, turning creation into destruction. The redemption's shields met the planet killer beam. But instead of just blocking it, they absorbed it, converted it, and sent it back as a Genesis wave. The dreadnought's weapons literally began growing backwards, reverting to raw materials. Impossible. Karthresh roared. You forgot something, Sarah said firmly. Your own technology can be turned against you. The power to create is also the power to uncreate. But Karthresh wasn't finished. A dreadnought launched fighters, hundreds of them, each piloted by surviving Zarkonians. The redemption was outnumbered 100 to 1. Then, space lit up with jump signatures. The Zircon fleet arrived, led by Commander Zex. Coalition ships followed. Even the reformed pirates appeared. Admiral Chun, Zex's clicking voice came through. 5 years ago, we thought humanity would become the new tyrants. We were wrong. Today, we stand with Earth. The galaxy stands as one, Vilex added. The battle was fierce. The Zarkonian dreadnought was powerful, but it faced a united galaxy. The redemption, despite being smaller, knew all the dreadnought's weaknesses. They were sister ships. After all, Sarah coordinated the fleet like a conductor leading an orchestra. Zircon ships harried the fighters. Coalition vessels provided support. The redemption faced the dreadnought directly. Ship, Sarah asked the wounded AI, can you give us one more surge? Everything you've got? For humanity. For redemption ... Yes, the AI responded. The redemption charged forward, shields converting every attack into more power. It rammed into the dreadnought's core, using the Genesis protocol not to create or destroy, but to transform. The dreadnought began changing, its weapons becoming tools, its armor becoming shelter. In minutes, the planet killer had been transformed into a massive space station, a haven for refugees, a symbol of peace. Karthresh and the surviving Zarkonians were captured, but not killed. Humanity insisted on trials, on justice, not vengeance. Standing on the bridge of the wounded, but victorious redemption. Sarah addressed the galaxy. We inherited a weapon and chose to make it a tool of healing. Today, we all chose creation over destruction. The age of empires built on fear is over. The age of unity has begun. The redemption had become exactly what its name promised, not doom, but hope. Humanity's ultimate Doombringer had doomed only tyranny itself. Asterisk